good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you happen to, whatever type of time of day that you happen to be tuning into. It's Naturally Not. I got home today after work. Let me tell you, it wasn't really a long, hard day, but the weather was really depressing today. It's doing it. I should just show you. It wants to rain. And then it's doing this business right now. And I know we need the moisture, but oh, good grief, right? So I was going to carry on right over here. I was going to make a really fun pizza today, but by the time I got home, peeled off my warm gear, but still I was so moist and wet and icky. I was like, I don't want pizza. I want tomato soup, right? I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago, I happened to have one old can of Campbell's tomato soup, and I bet I haven't had that forever. And I popped it open because it made me think of my mom when she would make tomato soup. We'd get home from lunch and we're hungry, or if she didn't feel like making lunch when I was a kid. And I made soup with it, and I add some milk to it, and I couldn't eat it. I don't know if they changed the recipe. It used to be, tangy, like tomatoes should be, but this was sweet. It tasted like somebody added a good full tablespoon of sugar to the recipe per can. I couldn't eat it. I gave it away, and some of it's still in the fridge probably, in the back. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make my old standard tomato soup from scratch. It doesn't take much time, really. It doesn't add much time at all to opening a can, and that can was not gratifying at all. Okay? So homemade tomato soup really only takes, there's so many ways you could do it. You could do it with fresh tomatoes you went and picked or got at the store or the farmer's market. But right now, as you know, there are no good tomatoes because it's not that time of year. So the other day, when I heard that we were going to have some crappy weather, I went looking for some good tomatoes, canned tomatoes. And these look so fancy that I picked these up. It says that they're Pomodoro, Polpa, crushed tomatoes. What a pretty can, fancy. It says it's Italy's, what does it say on here? Italy's favorite kind. You never know about its advertising. But it has a little statement about the family that has been making this since 1899. Anyway, it was on sale. I usually use whatever's on sale. Or I even thought about using my own canned tomatoes, but I'm still holding out on saving those. I only have 2 jars left. But I'm just going to show you today how easy it is to make tomato soup and take it up a notch with something fun that we'll do once we get this started. Okay? Now you can make this for many people or as little as you want. I'm taking a standard recipe and cutting it in half because it's just me, and I'll probably have some leftovers that I'll freeze for just one other time because we're probably going to get some more rain and creepy, snowy, sleety weather, and so I want to have just a little bit extra, not a lot. Okay? So you want to turn on your heat to medium-high. You'll want, if you're going to make a lot of this, you're going to want 28 ounces of this, but I only have one 14-ounce can. I have 2 cups of chicken broth. I have a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I have 1 onion, and I have 1 garlic. This is for something at the end, and I have a little tomato paste. That's all you need to make really good tomato soup, right? If you want to make it for more or have extras, just double everything I said, okay? I was looking at Ina's recipe, and this is quite similar to hers, and really a good tomato soup just is really about fresh aromatics like onions and garlic. Now, I used not quite a full onion, and it was a small one, right? But if you wanted to use more or less onion or more garlic or whatever you want, you could do that. You could use roasted garlic if you didn't want that bite. I did think, though, since I don't know how great these are, although I'm hoping these will be good, I'm going to use a little tomato paste in a tube just to bring out more richness of the flavor, just in case. These are a little weak. I'm sure they're fine. I'm getting my oil hot. How hot? Oh, it's hot. It's ready. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to saute the onions. If you've got plenty of time and you want to get them kind of golden brown, you could do them 15 minutes. I don't know if we'll do 15 minutes because I'm hungry and I'm tired and my feet hurt. So we'll see. We'll see how long we indeed saute these onions down. We'll do the garlic here in a little bit. We'll add in just a little bit. Again, I'm only making this for me, so maybe a teaspoon of this brand. I don't even know what the brand it is. We don't have any choices at the little grocery store I go to. So I picked up the one and only brand we had. About that much ought to do her. And we'll continue sauteing. Got some good news. Daniel McDaniel, Dan the cameraman, is going to be back home here. He's been doing taxes all over. And tax season's over. So he's just finishing up loose ends at the various offices. And you should hear his comforting voice on the other end of the camera coming up soon. Alright? I might even interrupt my scheduled filming and do some, I don't know if we're ready up to do a live, but we might just cut it and do one. You never know. Why is it that sauteed onions and garlic make your house and everything around you smell like you went to a lot of effort? I've been just sitting here yakking with you guys. I haven't gone to a lot of effort making this yet. What is really going to sell this is a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Now, I might not even use that full quarter cup because I'm trying to watch my cholesterol. Stinks. I hate that. Hate that I inherited bad cholesterol. But anyway, this takes it up though. I mean, come on. But if you have whole milk or skim milk, that'd be fine. I've done evaporated milk in my tomato soup, and it is jolly delicious. Jolly delicious. But I don't think I have a can in the pantry, and I got to use this cream up. It's for a different project. Starting to get a little bit of nice golden in the pot, kind of. Got a bigger pot today, so I'll show you. I've been kind of busy with some of the weird weather that we've had on the colder and rainy days. I made homemade croutons the other day. Is that a treat? The kind you get at the store make you feel like you're going to crack a molar. But homemade croutons are light and delicious. I thought maybe that would be good on top of the soup, right? All right. Let's fish one of these out of here. He's almost there. This soup, when my mom would make it for us, you know what she'd do? She would she would make up only like a cup of good old 1970s, 1980s minute rice. And she would put that in with the soup. That was so good. I thought about doing that. I don't have any minute rice. I don't usually keep that on hand. I didn't feel like waiting around for a big pot of rice to get cooked up, right? Didn't feel like doing that. Again, I just got off work, I'm tired. Another thing you can do, Ina Garden does with her soup, is you can put in my favorite little pasta in the world, orzo. Cook up some orzo on the side. I almost thought about doing this, but the trick we're going to make once we get this soup going is going to be naughty enough on the carb end, so we're not going to put any orzo in this. Okay, I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm going to add our garlic now. Get in there. What do you like to have with your grilled, or I gave it away, your tomato soup? Do you like grilled cheese? If so, do you like, what kind of grilled cheese do you like? Do you like to take it to another level, use some Swiss? There we smell, I smell it. It's yum yum. Let's go ahead and put in the crushed tomatoes. I'm going to add a little water to this, get all of it out of the can. I've made canned tomato soup with canned tomatoes that are whole or diced. Just use whatever I got on hand. I use whole ones. You can break them up with your hands in the pot before they get hot, or with a meat masher or something like that. And then I've heard that you're not supposed to make soup with diced tomatoes because they have some chemical added to the diced part of the tomato that doesn't let it break down. That's what I heard. Chris Kimball or somebody from a reliable source, okay, say that. That's possibly quite true. I kind of don't want big chunks of tomatoes. A little bit of chunks of tomatoes is okay in my tomato soup. I don't want it pulverized like baby food, like Campbell's soup does, but I don't want it, big, jumbo olive-sized tomato in my tomato soup. We're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna let this cook down. In fact, after I'm done videotaping, I'm gonna let this cook down and set the timer for about 15 minutes to lightly simmer to kind of concentrate the flavors. I'm using a very watered down chicken stock because I like to watch my salt. I love salt, but salt doesn't love me. And then when it's all done, then I'm gonna finish it with this. Now don't put your cream in right away because it's going to get super curdled. You want to wait to the end. Oh, I forgot pepper. Some good pepper would be a good amount of pepper is important in here, right? And since it's just me eating this, I'm going to eat it off the wooden spoon. Who cares? I was tasting for sugar. I think these tomatoes are pretty sweet. I don't think we need any sugar. I don't think we're going to need that. Okay, we'll let that cook. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. Okay. Now let's talk about the topping. See, and I didn't add quite all the soup yet, or all the chicken stock. I don't think we're going to need it. So I was thinking about making mini little grilled cheese croutons, which I still might make for another video. And you use a cast iron that has the little edges inside that go up that make the grill marks on it. But I was like, I gotta go out in the garage and get some sourdough, which is buried at the bottom of the garage. I gotta find some cheeses, make it, cut it up, let them set. I was like, I don't want to do all that. I already have homemade croutons. How can I get that same feeling as a grilled cheese sandwich or those mini little croutons, grilled cheese croutons, with what I already have, okay? And what I already have is yummy, right? I'm only doing a few on this pan because it's just me. And I thought, why not sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on this and broil it? The Parmesan will drop down onto the croutons and kind of adhere. I'm thinking. I'm not seeing this in a recipe, I'm just guessing, so we're experimenting today with my topping for the tomato soup. But I think it would work. I think it'd be good. I already know these are wicked good. I made them. I'm good at this technique of putting some cheese on it and put it under the broiler for a minute. You could probably do with pre-bought store croutons. They're so nasty and hard, right? But maybe they would be transformed with the Parmesan. I don't know. So I'm going to turn on my broiler. I already have my broiling rack, not at the tip top because that makes it too close to the element, but one down from the tip top. I'm going to go ahead and hit that broil. And I just took some no-name Parm cheese, took my chef's knife, ran it through the strands so it would break it down like this, which I think would be perfect because it'll really adhere. I hope. To these croutons. I'm going to put all of it on there. I'm going to go wild, folks. Any cheese that sticks to the parchment paper on this mini pan that I inherited is fair pickings. You can just pull it off the parchment paper and eat it. Right? Just like you would if you were making frico, which I don't know if I've ever made for you guys on this channel. It's so simple and easy and a great cocktail. Woo! This is going high and mighty. Let's turn that down. Oh, that's going to cook down to nothing. All right, maybe I'll move it over here until my oven or my stovetop calms down. Let's stick this, get over there, Parm, in the oven and see what happens, okay? And we'll just chit chat. I'll keep my eye on the soup while I'm talking to you. This comes together so fast, so I don't edit. So imagine how fast my soups go into play, because I'm not editing it. So however long it takes you to watch this video, dinner's done. Right? If you were sitting in here, maybe over here on my white bench, listening to me yap, or maybe I'd be listening to you yap, we'd be eating in about 10 minutes. Okay? There we go. Let's calm down a little bit. There we go. Turn that down some more. You silly, crazy stove. You really shouldn't be standing here where there's so many hot things, Rose. Let that calm down, right? Let's check the croutons. Probably not doing anything yet. Nope. Sprinkle some of those on here. And, when you make tomato soup and you're thinking, I want it thicker and richer, put a cornstarch slurry into it right before you're ready to serve. Let it thicken up to where you want. If cooking it down like this, I'm going to have to start this all over again, doesn't work, right? Generally, I can see along from the edges of the pan that it's already cooked down a little bit. When you cook something down that's liquidy, it always gets thicker anyway. But if you wanted it even thicker and you were making just exactly the same amount I'm making, I would say 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons water in a slurry in a little itty bitty bowl or a tiny measuring cup thrown in here at the last minute. Give it a stir, wait a few seconds. That ought to thicken it up if you want it thicker, right? I know some people like to take their grilled cheese and the soup literally becomes like the condiment on the grilled cheese. So if you're that person, ooh, it smells good, then you might want to do that slurry at the last minute. Okay, oven or stovetop, are you behaving? Yes or no? Kind of. All right, let's check the, ooh, okay. This just might be ready. It did. Yep. This is bright. Doesn't need to go any longer, I'll tell you that. Turn this off. This is right where I want it. Crispy, crispy. The cheese is melted down. The cheese is a little bit brown here and there in places. I'm going to resist the temptation to grab one and pop it in my mouth because it is scalding hot. I'm going to set that aside. Those suckers are going to be the little tugboats on top of my sea of tomato soup. We'll let them sit here and cool down. I got like 8 minutes, which is enough time. There we go. Now it's calmed down, and I can go ahead and put it back on simmer. There we go. Perfect. I got plenty of time to do the dishes while the 8 minutes on the timer are chugging by. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put a little fresh parm on this, and put some the soup in a bowl. Put a fresh parm on it. Some of those little tugboats with cheese on it. I'm gonna kick my feet up. Have a fire. Relax from this long work week and this gray and damp, humid spring, winter, whatever this day is, and kick back as you should. If it's kind of rainy or sleety where you're at, or cold or windy, you should be doing the same and putting your feet up and take care of you too. If you've made a tomato soup from scratch like this, let me know. Drop it down in the comments. Otherwise, give this soup a try. I think it's going to be pretty good. I might add the cream to it. I'd like to add the cream to it for you so you can see. But really, all it's going to do is take it from this color, right? If you can see it, dark orange, it's going to make it light orange once I add that cream. Otherwise, there's no point you seeing me doing that. You'll know it'll be creamy because it's cream, right? Boom. If I end up using less, I'll let you know when I put the recipe down below. If you could hit the thumbs up. There, it's snowing again. It stopped. It started. Thumbs up. I like to see that. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, if you could subscribe, I'd love that. Wherever you're at, I hope you're having a great evening and taking care of yourself and the ones you love. And I'll see you next Sunday, next time. Bye-bye.